Welcome to Here to Serve, a United Regional podcast. I'm your host, Ryan Graves. My favorite part of being the Director of Patient Experience at United Regional is the incredible people that I meet and work with on a daily basis, and I want you to meet them too. Join us to meet the people behind the badge and to highlight those who are here to serve. Trevon, welcome to the Here to Serve podcast.
Finally.
Yeah, we've been trying to make it happen for a while. I'm glad you're here, man.
I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
Now this is, have you been on a podcast before?
I have.
Yeah.
I have.
And I know you were a radio guy for a while. I've heard your voice on the radio.
A little bit. We had 10 years of More to Life radio there at Hot 103.9. So had a little bit of expertise there. Did a few other podcasts, but man, we finally here.
We're here.
Here to serve.
Here to serve. I was thinking this morning as I was thinking about this podcast, I was trying to remember when I met you, and I couldn't. To be honest, I don't have like a first memory, but the earliest one that really stands out is probably the same one for both of us. Unfortunately, because we were bonded at an early age for life.
Yes.
Nothing bonds people like a near-death experience.
Well, I mean, not for me.
Yeah.
Now, for you, and we won't name drop here, but the others
Lynn,
that were
Lynn Dutton. It was Lynn Dutton for sure.
the others that were involved, of course, near-death
Yeah.
experience for them. But
I'm gonna tell the story. So
go for it. Hey, we're here.
I know we're gonna get into what Trevon does now, and he does work for us on the Patient Family Advisory Council United Regional. But how I met Trevon was at church camp a long time ago, in Lufkin, Texas. I have no idea.
Good old East Texas.
East Texas,
Yeah.
and I don't even remember all the details. It's been so long ago. All I know is that if you were a worker there, like a dean or doing something in the camp, you could drive a golf cart around because it's a big campus. And behind the main big church building, there was this hill, and the workers figured out that, and by workers I mean me, figured out that if you could drive a golf cart down that hill, especially at night when it's that damp East Texas grass, you could slam on the brakes, cut the wheel, and you would just do donuts all the way down that hill. And I spent a lot of time, we're supposed to be praying or singing or something, I don't know, but I was doing donuts behind the hill. But one day, as fate would have it, I don't remember why, but Trevon and our buddy Lynn was on the cart with me, and I was like, hey, let's go do a donut down the hill. And they both were like, that's not a good idea, And I was like, no, I've done this a bunch of times.
And we had done it a bunch of times before. Others had done it, so we're not just going to leave you under the bus. There were many others that were involved in this.
Every time I had done it, though, Trevon and another person weren't on the cart with me. And so somehow I miscalculated, and we got about one spin in, and that golf cart just... and I'm thankful for God's grace that nobody was hurt that day.
And this was the inspiration for the name of the church you all have today, God's Grace. Grace Church.
Grace
Howard
Church.
Park, yeah. No, I have to tell the listeners, though, we got to clarify a few things. So first of all, number one, we need to clarify that we may not have been, I'm not going to throw us under the bus like that. We were where we were supposed to be when we were supposed to be there. But when we had our leisure time, that's what people did. We just went down that hill.
Yeah.
So clarification number one. Clarification number two is that not everybody got to have golf carts. It just so happened that the bishop, your dad, was the principal of the camp. So we got to just hijack.
Yeah. Perks. We took his cart.
We got the perks. We took his cart. And
is there a statute of limitations on us getting in trouble? We can't get in trouble.
There's no way we can get in trouble for this now. There was listen, if we're gonna go camp stories, there were way worse things. Lord have mercy on us, thank you. But I had, and just to paint the picture for everybody listening, it was a normal golf cart and 2 seats. And then it was just, where you put your bags in the back. So I was standing where the bags go, holding on. And then, of course, my great friend here is driving. And then he already name dropped him, but Lynn Dutton's in the passenger side. And we're going down the hill, as Ryan said. And I'm holding on. And when he went to turn for the donut, you turned, and I felt it tip. So all I had to do was just put my foot down on the hill and let go. And I watched them roll right down the hill. And so when I said, oh, Lord. And when they got to the bottom, they were okay. So we're like, hey, we're good.
Hey, we stood that card up so fast. It's like it never happened. We were just going.
Came down, picked it up, and guess what?
Nobody.
I mean,
everybody was okay.
We kept it in the pouch like an extra stone that David had, but we have released it, let it out. We've told it, like you said, statute of limitations.
It's all good.
It's all good. But that is where it began.
That's where it began. Absolutely. That's the first like clear like core memory I have. I was trying to think. I know I've known you most of my life, I guess, but I remember that one very well because we almost died. So enough about old camp stories. Tell me what you do. What you do now. I know that's a big question. So let's start. Let's start with Prevention Alliance.
Well, Prevention Alliance for Wichita is the coalition I get the privilege and the honor of coordinating. And so when someone hears that word, when they ask, what do? I say, I'm a coalition coordinator, and they kind of just still look at me puzzled. And I said, I get to work with a group of volunteers, community leaders, and people who care about the community we live in to drive for positive environmental community change. It just so happens our focus is substance misuse and abuse, mental health promotion, and all of that. But we've got people from every sector of the community, from different businesses, youth-serving organizations, faith-based organizations, mental health, public health. We've got it all, and we get together, and our job is to drive for that positive community change through education, through different resource events that we do, resource fairs, and of course, we want to try to do it on a policy level. That's like the bread and butter for coalitions. Is if they can get some policy put in place, then that's like the gold. That's the gold. So that's what you're reaching for. My job is to just get these people together, coordinate it, because we all have the same goal in mind. We all want to see the same result. We want to see it happen for our community for the better, for youth and adults alike. And so with that, having the backing of our company, of course, Serenity Foundation, that's what we're driving for. And so our group, we meet every month. You know this. Thank you for being such a pivotal piece to our coalition. Ryan serves as one of our executive committee members, and I'm thankful for that. But we meet every month to try to focus and talk about strategy and how we're going to achieve this. One of the goals of the coalition is to see a social hosting policy put in place. So we are working towards that, and we're excited about what's coming in the future.
Yeah. Man, it's an honor to get to be on that. I've learned so much there's so much work sometimes happening in the community that you don't even know about. And this was one of those. There was a lot of incredible work going on that I knew nothing about until you brought me into it.
Well, you say that. It's funny because, previously, my previous 8 years, I still worked at Serenity Foundation, but I was a prevention specialist in our youth prevention program, which is also by default a part of the coalition. We have great prevention specialists who go out and do that education in the community schools and surrounding areas in the county. But I was doing that 8 years prior. So I was already building those relationships and those foundations to whenever I made the transition, it's going to be an easy one. So it's funny, I say Prevention Alliance for Wichita. They're like, huh? And I'm like, Serenity Foundation. Oh yeah. And then it clicks with them.
Together.
Just getting people to know, like, okay, this is what we've added now. It's still a part of the umbrella. We're still on the team. It's just a different perspective or different aspect of it now.
Yeah, it makes sense. What did you do before that? You were at was it Boys and Girls Club or
I was at the YMCA.
Yeah, okay.
Running the school age before and after program. And then previous to that, I was doing that same thing on the base. So that spectrum has been covered. Because on the base, it's the Madrigal Youth Center, and they are affiliated with the Boys and Girls Club. So I was with Boys and Girls Club, was with the YMCA, and now I'm here with Serenity Foundation.
Well, you've basically spent your career doing work, serving the community is a way I would summarize all that.
Yes, sir.
What do you think? I'm just curious. I've seen some of the data. It's just very fascinating to me. What do you think would surprise people about Wichita Falls as we're looking at prevention? And I think it might be worth saying a few words even too about prevention versus treatment. So you're very specific about we're in the prevention phase is what you guys are focused on. And then what do you think would surprise people to know?
Oh, let's see. I think one of the things that would really shock folks, and even being on the coalition, we talked about it. One of the things that shocked me, and all of us were like, well, we weren't even aware, is just how pivotal parental influence is. A lot of prevention that we teach, the education, it depends on, of course, we're giving it to the individual in the classroom.
Mm-hmm.
We're trying to focus on it in a broader term as a coalition, but it takes them as an individual and their parents, because if they go home and it doesn't get reinforced, and this, boy, we can get it. It translates into different things biblically and all that, but what those students, what we saw from their questionnaire and that data is that, man, if the parents disapprove, that usage is lower.
It was significant. I wish I could remember them off the top of my head, but when you put the stats side by side, and it wasn't, what blew me away about that data was all it had to be is the parent just disapproves of it. It's not that the parent put any rules in place against them. It wasn't their school. It was just the fact that a parent disapproves of this.
No strenuous rules or caveats.
Yeah, it's just was a huge differentiator of who was going to use. And I don't know what all the categories were: smoking, drinking, illicit drugs. I was
vaping.
Yeah.
And so that was it. It's like, really, it could, because, and here's the deal, and I get it, because a lot of times parents are like, well, what can I do there? I don't have time. We don't have this, that, and to find out from the data that you can simply sit down and go, I would rather you not.
Yeah, I don't approve of this.
I would rather you not.
Yeah.
And so, speaking to that, you talk about, the surprise. One of the things that we have been trying to do is just to educate parents on how to strengthen their relationship with their kids, with their youth, and with those around them, so that when they do come back and say, or come along and say, hey, I'd rather you not, they take it to heart.
Yeah.
Instead of it just sounding like you said, a list of rules or something like that.
Okay, if a parent hears this right here, how do they get that resource? What do they need to do?
So any resource that you want to get, you can go visit our website. We've got resources there at serenitytexas.com.
Okay. You
can come visit our office, 4245 Kemp Boulevard. We're in Suite 718. But you can talk to if you go to in public health, they have things there. If you go, your Boys and Girls Clubs, if local Boys and Girls Club have information and things like that as well. And just general research, Googling those things to find out, what can I do to sit down? Because, I mean, come on, we live in a day and age where it's like, as soon as we're home, it's
and it's access it's everywhere, and I think that there's a temptation for us to feel helpless, or for our parents to feel helpless and go, there's nothing I can do. And so, two big takeaways that I've gotten from this, from the group and the data, is the first thing you can do is talk about it early, talk about it soon, right? Get it in front of them that, hey, I do not, I'd rather you didn't. And then have a relationship with your kid is like the biggest thing you could do to prevent them going down this path.
Sure. And of course, on the back end, we've got everything that we do that is, you can throw out a technical term real quick. EBIs, or evidence-based interventions, the curriculums and different things that we can do. But when it's something that's that easy and it's right there in front of you,
it's huge,
and it's a big piece of the data, oh man. And so that's why we focus on that, because it's an easy go. It's an easy transition to make. But I think the community would be shocked to know that.
Yeah.
And
I was surprised. I mean, I know theoretically, obviously parents make it different, right? I no doubt about that.
Yes.
But just the simplicity of a parent disapproves, that was such a differentiator, was surprising to me.
And so to the second part of your question, like what we do as preventionists is we are trying to get ahead. We're trying to go upstream. If I can paint a picture, you've got a bridge that's broken. Okay, so what we're trying to do is get upstream and let people know this bridge is broken, so that folks don't just all of a sudden get to the bridge, and we're not at the bridge going, hey, don't step here. We're trying to go.
I love that.
And so we're trying to get ahead of things, and the way we do that is just by those different tactics or strategies, what we call them, that we do to try to get those in place, so that when it comes down the road, you are already aware.
Yeah.
You already know, because awareness is very important as well. So
Well, you already mentioned this earlier, but I wanted to tie to it. If people haven't figured it out just by listening to Trevon talk for a moment, Trevon's a pastor also, and all of this community work ties together so well with what you're doing prevention in the community. And I know you were a youth pastor for many years leading up to this, and so you've seen this.
Got that privilege, yeah.
Yeah, you've seen this from the ministry and the spiritual standpoint, but also from your actual career in the community. You've seen it from kind of both sides, but there's a clear crossover here, you know. And I also, you said the privilege, right? The privilege of being a youth pastor. I had that same privilege.
Yes, sir.
And one of the things I just saw over and over again was, you know, the parents play a bigger role than we can ever even explain, right? And that child's success and what path they're going to go down is, you know, the power of a family and having a relationship with a kid. So it's just interesting. I got to imagine you see many other crossovers in both of these work.
I won't get too far off topic, but
go for it.
I was in the training and was facilitating the training and was talking about, and what we were talking about was the different sectors of communities, and the participants in this training were talking about how hard it is to get into the faith-based community where they're at. And so I just was able to share for a second, like, here, try these different things, because there's so much crossover.
Yeah.
I felt like I was cheating. I'm like, oh, I'll take this from, you know, the biblical side and apply it to the prevention work, because it's the same principle. And I do the same thing in my prevention work. I'm like, I'm going to take this and teach about it, you know, in Bible study or whatever. And it is just, when you can bring those two together, man, it is such a resource for people who do the work we do. And it is such a benefit for those faith-based organizations, those churches, if, you know, they'll come on board. Now, there's a trust factor and all of that, and of course, it's work in progress, but I really feel it's an underutilized sector.
Yeah.
So that's,
well, one of the things I say often is it's all ministry. Like, I feel I have a similar role in healthcare. You know, I work in the healthcare space, but our primary goal is healing people, right? Is we want people to get better. And so I'm an assistant pastor also. And so I'm like, man, it's all, man, everything that we do is ministry. And I constantly remind nurses and providers and anybody I work with at the organization and United Regional, I'm always reminding them, like, hey, you are on sacred ground. You know, a lot of people don't think of coming to United Regional as going to a ministry. But I'm like, it's ministry.
But it absolutely,
you are ministering to people's souls every single day in their most vulnerable and sacred moments. And I think I can't separate the two anymore. It all runs together.
You could try.
Yeah, right.
But it's not going to work. But I mean, look how much it is engraved in what you do.
It's funny you said graves, engraved in me.
Boy, we're rolling them out today. You can't get away from it. It's y'all have chaplains,
right?
And whatever else y'all got. I mean, it's all a part of what you do. So it just makes sense. Yeah. And of course, you know, we have the other sectors that we work with, and we're grateful for, and we love them too. But it's just whenever we're talking about things that we also do in the community, it's like, how come this hasn't been? So it's been a privilege and an honor to be able to bridge that gap a little bit. Yeah. And yeah, we've got a lot of work to do in other areas as well, but it's special for sure.
Well, thank you for all the work you're doing around and have done and are doing around the community. Shout out to what's the name of your church and where's it at? Let's give a shout out.
Oh, shout out to Life Church in Burke Burnett, Texas. My wife and I get the privilege of being the campus pastors there to a great little congregation of folks thriving and growing, and we're having a great time. Been there for, oh boy, 4 years now.
I can't believe it's been that long.
It's been that long.
That's incredible.
But we officially became campus pastors in June of last year.
Awesome.
So,
yeah, shout out to you guys doing great work over there.
Yes, great work, great people.
Yeah.
And I got to shout out everybody on the coalition too.
Yeah.
You know, here's the thing. It doesn't work if you don't have passionate, great people.
Exactly
and
right.
I will brag on everybody. I wish we had time. I'd go through individually and name every single one of them and what they bring and what they contribute to the coalition and to this community. Man, when you hear, listen, I knew when we started this thing, I was like, oh, this is going to be it's work, but I was like, it's going to be a breeze because of the people we have in place.
Yeah.
When you start talking about Wichita Falls, when you start talking about the community and how they light up and their passion.
I love it. I've met a lot of you. I don't know if I've met them all, but I've met many of the folks you're referencing, and they've all been incredible. And I'm excited that I've gotten to know them and continue to get to know them more.
Yeah.
In the work that you guys are doing. So, anything else you want to talk about? I want to move on to a different topic, but anything you want to talk about as far as Prevention Alliance before I move away from that we didn't cover?
No, I know. I can't think of anything right now. Just, be looking for us. I know you'll see the billboards, you'll see everything like that. But when you hear Prevention Alliance for Wichita, you think of us.
Yeah.
And we're here for the community, and we're ready.
They could put a face to the billboards when they see them up.
At least one of them, two of them. And just think these faces and golf cart. There you go.
There you go. That'll be it. Awesome. Well, I want to also do a quick shout out to Trevon for joining us. So this was kind of a little bit of a trade here. Trevon asked me to be on his council, and it was an honor to be a part of that for, I don't know, a year or so. And United Regional started putting together a Patient and Family Advisory Council. And I was getting to be the co-chair of that, and they said, hey, let's start reaching out to community members that we think would benefit. And I'm like, first of all, I know the perfect person for this, and second of all, I'm on his council, so he's got to say yes.
He owes me one.
He would anyways, but I'm like, I got him. He's got to do this. So we were able to invite you into our Patient Family Advisory Council, and you've been you're one of the OG members. You've been a huge part of that.
Thank you.
And I want to just spend a couple minutes talking about what that's been like and what some of the work that's been done there. But just tell me a little bit about your first introduction to that. So myself and Shelly Mosier just grabbed a random sampling of folks in the community and said, hey, will you help us? And I think they're all sitting there going, what in the world have we gotten ourselves into? But just let's talk a little bit about Family Advisory Council.
Oh man, yeah, like you just said, I'm not gonna rehash that, but yeah, it was hey, can you do me a solid? You know what, I got you. But like you said, watching everybody, our first meeting, I remember it as we sat in that room, everybody with a deer in the headlight, look, what in the world are we doing? And to watch Shelly and you and Fred, and I'm missing a few others, but to get up there and speak your piece about why this is important. There was a slow Cheshire Cat grin that came on my face, and to watch the others that were there, watch their guard kind of come down, like, oh. So I want to commend you and your team for making people feel at ease and making them feel important and seen and heard. Because I'll tell you what, there's a concept in prevention. There's a great prevention mentor. He has a saying, and this is what we follow when we're talking about implementing anything. It says, nothing about us without us.
I love that.
And so if you're going to do prevention in a community, but that community is not involved or at the table to plan or anything like that, you're doomed.
Yeah, I agree.
And so for you guys to start to recognize we need to hear from the community, and that you brought different community members to the table, and not only brought them to the table, but you gave them a voice and gave them an area to be comfortable with being able to speak. Man, it was great.
That's awesome. Well, I appreciate that. And man, I think that all this success of being able to have a Patient Family Advisory Council, we didn't know what that was going to look like, but we've learned over the years, and I got to give, so much credit here, all the credit really to Shelly Mosier. She's the vision behind this, but we don't know what we don't know. Let's just start. But I think so much of what has come from that has been the right people. We had the right people in the room that said, we care about this community. This is where we get our healthcare at, right? And so we're going to tell you guys the truth, and we're going to tell you the truth in love. We're not trying to tell you down. We're not trying to. We want you to be successful. We're going to tell you the truth. And man, it was just so awesome. We didn't know what to expect on that first meeting. Being fully transparent, I was kind of expecting this first meeting to be like everybody that's got a bone to pick. and this community is going to show up here, and then we're going to have an hour of a gripe session. And I'm here for it. If we mess up, we fess up. I'm gonna write it all down. We're gonna work on it.
You know, and sometimes it's a little bit of that, but as it got out of their system, you were there, you saw.
It was. Hey, here's some concerns we have, and then we said, hey, we hear those concerns. Let's see what we can do about them. We tried to do what we could about them, but and there was some of that, and we want that. We want to hear when things aren't right. But what was so refreshing and just so exciting to me was the group said, now let us speak into, like, here's all the things that you can do to be great. And then when we have questions, we bring it to you. And then there was such a hunger within the group for knowledge and understanding of, we want to know how billing works. We want to know how my chart works. We want to know, and then we want to take it. Not only do we want to learn it, we want to take it back to our community.
You got no. You say my chart, you got to give room for the dun dun dun.
Yeah.
Everybody, you say my chart, dun dun dun. Yeah.
Yeah. Here we gotta open up my chart and get into the weeds, and let's figure out how to get in here and learn things, because my chart's such a huge benefit. But if you don't know how to use it, or it can be overwhelming. So it's been a wild ride. I've lost count of how many members we have. We have a second committee now. We have a non-English speaking committee.
I was just fixing to highlight that, and that how it expanded, how it started. You're like, wow, this is work. Let's take it even further. And the follow through, you guys, again, to be commended, because it's one thing to bring people to the table to hear everything they have to say. It's another thing for you all at United Regional to go back and to follow through with what the council has said, the ideas, and to report that back, to bring it back, that accountability. And it creates more buy-in.
Right, trust and buy-in.
And so you guys have done an excellent job. And it's, again, I've said it 4 or 5 times, but I'll say it again. It's been an honor, because now I know that if someone comes to me, I know how to.
Yeah. And we see that so much as folks come in, the random person in the community brings a concern. There's a funnel now to get that to us, or somebody's in the organization, because we want to make it right to the best of our ability. We want to learn and grow. And I think there was a cool moment for me. There's been so many. I shouldn't even start naming moments, because I'll miss them, because there were so many cool moments of things that were brought to us that I would have been blind. I would have never seen.
Sure.
Because I work here. I've been here 20 years. There's certain things I just don't see anymore. Somebody else sees it and we go, oh, that was the blind spot. Let's fix it. But one of my favorite moments was recently, a newer committee member had asked a question. They asked a question about youth prevention. And I kind of started snickering, and I looked over and I'm like, I think I know somebody who can answer that question. And so these are two people that are from the community that don't know each other. And this Patient Family Advisor Council also will say, hey, there's somebody over there that can answer that question for you. So you guys, I saw y'all sync up after the meeting. Surprise, surprise, you're on the agenda for the next meeting to talk to that whole group about the resources that you have in the community. And that's not the first time that's happened. There are people that are on the committee that have other resources in the community to go, hey, we got to tie these in together. And so it gets me very fired up and excited to see things working like that.
Man, yes, I got called out. I was happy to be called out. I returned the favor. Made sure I told everybody, tell Ryan happy birthday.
It was my birthday. Trevon called me out on that.
Gotcha.
Got me back.
One other thing I'll say, I hope this is okay, but y'all got 2 new patients, or 2 new recipients out of it, because my wife and I now have PCPs here at United Regional. I'm on with Dr. Tisdale, and my wife's experience. I played that for y'all at the.
That was the best thing ever. So Trevon actually played his wife's voicemail of her first experience at United Regional, and I don't remember exactly what it was, but she was very excited with the service that she received.
She was blown away, and I made sure to come back and tell y'all, and I played it for all of the leadership, because it means that much. When going back and talking about how much they cared, all the follow through, everything like that. Yeah. So
it's sacred, man. It's sacred. You're most vulnerable. You're most scared when you go into healthcare, and that's when in the community needs you. Not only should we give and this is, I'll preach this all day, and people get sick of me talking about it, but we have to give the right and appropriate, excellent clinical care. But people have to know that you care about them, or else you're missing it, right? And so it's both of those things. And man, I love it when somebody like your wife walks out of there and goes, those people know what they're doing and they care about me.
They care.
I'm like, that's it. That's what I'm looking for. That's all I want.
I was actually thinking about you, because you and the team, walking example. I was in Florida a couple weeks ago for training. you actually took the meeting, our coalition meeting for me. So thank you for that. One of the sessions I was in was, we don't care how much you know.
To know how much you care.
There you go.
That's basic human nature. Well, I can't think of any better way to end it than that right there. People don't care how much you know, do they know how much you care.
Beautiful.
You got anything else, Trevon?
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate you.
Appreciate you.